Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Heidi. Welcome to Expat Philippines, okay? Where we will give you the most up-to-date information as far as what's going on with the expat bloggers that you watch, expats, things going on in expat health. I've been in the Philippines for almost 4 years, and I can tell you right now, you either love it or hate the Philippines. And today I want to discuss why I moved to the Philippines. For those that don't know my full story, I am married to a Filipino. I have been with him for 6 years. It'll be 5 years that we will be married here in a few more months. And we decided that we were going to retire much later, and it might not even have been the Philippines. We had discussed Philippines, Mexico, and some other countries so we could have a more affordable retirement. Why? Because not everybody has a ton of money, okay? Also, it turns out to be close to 50 or 60% of Americans and other people in other countries do not have anything more than a small Social Security or a small Social Security check. I am on Social Security disability. Okay. When I turn 62, then it'll turn into regular Social Security. Okay. Based on working credits and everything else. George was in the United States for 28 years and he did work and he still qualifies for Social Security. It's something that he will apply for at 62. First off, I employ you to not wait forever to do a retirement or if you have the ability. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot afford to move, whether you should, based on these budgets that are being given out by other expat channels, based on, oh, you have to have a ton of money. We've been saying on Philippine Antics, our other channel, that it's up to you how you want to retire, whether you have enough, what you can live with and what you can't live without. And I was inspired this morning, believe it or not, while I was doing laundry to say, if I was just sitting in the United States, like before I met George, I was just on my disability. And I was in a mother in law quarter on my father's property. Of course, I was helping with him because he needed help, but I was getting very inexpensive rent. And even with my disability check, I was working part time as a Uber driver. Okay. There's nothing unusual about that, but it was just something to do in my spare time. And that was on disability through Social Security because they have a program where you can actually do this. But I was sitting there thinking after that you can't afford a whole lot in the United States. And this was 4 years ago. Okay. So everything was on the rise. And then the pandemic hit. I had already met George and everything. And we had discussed about getting married later and all of these things. And it was a sit down, trying to figure life out situation decision. And I'm like, well, if we sit here and burn through your savings and what savings I have, and we sit here on just my disability check, and then he was working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. He was up at like 6 a.m., didn't go to bed till like 11 o'clock because he was running a business for almost 10 years. And I'm like, this has to stop. Like with the pandemic, he had health problems. I had health problems. I tried to help him with his business. I went from driving to working in his office. And I'm like, nope, we need to go. So our biggest decision was finances. He also has a family here. He was born, raised, went to college in Angeles City. And we're like, it only makes sense. And then when we purchased the tickets, they had shut everything down. We were already in the pandemic, but they had just said, hey, no ins and outs, even with him being a citizen. So I'm like, let's go to Mexico. So we went to Mexico and we spent 6 months there until the country reopened. We had started vlogs and thought, hey, let's vlog for the people and for like our family, and let's show them what it's like to be an actual vlogger during the pandemic. And of course, this is when there was X amount of vloggers 4 years ago. During the pandemic, there was like a big baby boom, boom, boom of vloggers, and there has since been them here in the Philippines. And lots of great content out there, but a lot of content that just won't make any sense. So what I'm saying is that we made it to the Philippines and I went through many, many struggles. It's not for the faint of heart to be overseas. A lot of these guys have never been here, or women, and they discover all kinds of things that are just unbearable. And a lot of them will fold up and leave within a year or two. And if they get into a relationship that's bad, and by the way, guys, relationships are the same no matter if it's Mexico, Philippines, Guatemala. You guys could be in the UK, wherever. Relationships go bad, okay? And you just have to decide if the Philippines is right for you. For us, it was a financial thing, and for George not to have to work. And so, in our elder years, we're in our 50s now, that we don't want to struggle. I see a lot of people on Social Security living out of their car, and people that say they can't eat. They're choosing between heat and being able to keep their electric bill, in check. And cars are expensive. Their phones, everything is so expensive in the countries that you live in, especially the United States. Here, a cell phone costs. We can have 4 phones turned on right now, and it costs us less than $20. Our internet costs us $40. And then groceries is something that can cost you, and housing will widely vary, but our rent is like $175 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Now, when most people see some of the infrastructures, are like, oh my God, can I live in that? But then you also have some really nice places, but are you willing to pay 1,000 or 1,500 in some of the infrastructures that exist here in the Philippines? It's going to widely vary, just like the United States. You can see super fancy neighborhoods and you can see dirt poor neighborhoods. And some people choose to live where they're comfortable. Live where you're comfortable. Live the way you want. This is a country that definitely is the have and have nots. This is a country where most people do not have money. They strive to make a better living, make a better life for them and their kids. So, jobs can be scarce. There's a lot of competition and everything. But you'll be really surprised to see how many rich people there are here in the Philippines, and most of them are Filipinos. Like every resort activity that we do, it's all Filipinos. So the have and have nots. But here's the thing: you're not going to be trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'll tell you that right now. At least don't let the expats make you feel that way. Because on our other channel, on a daily basis, we'll get this, oh, it's because you can't afford it and because you guys are broke. No, we've mentioned it before that we have multiple streams of income besides the Social Security that George is working, and he has other channels, right? But we're not uber rich now because we sold everything. We sold the business. We stopped doing everything we could. We were middle class. We weren't rich in the United States. We were middle class in the United States. Several cars, 2 different places we were living in. But here, I think they consider us at 100,000 plus pesos. That, well, it's a little bit more than that, but I'm just talking about like the generalized income is over 100,000. I think they call that, I'll have to check and I'll put it up here on the screen. I think it's middle class here and upper middle class, because a little bit more and we would be in the upper bracket, but I'm not going to disclose our full income right now. But it is over 100,000, where Filipinos making 40 and 50,000 would be a dream for an entire family. I just heard someone the other day ask, how much money should I give my girlfriend for a food allowance each week or each day? People are like 1,000 pesos, 2,000, 500 pesos. And I'm thinking, I doubt most of the Filipinos in this area, probably half, are even getting 30,000 pesos a month as an individual. Maybe as a household, there's 1 or 2 of them working. Maybe they can have 40 or 50,000 if there's multiple people. And I'm not trying to degrade or down Filipinos. It is the truth, guys. And 30,000 just seemed a little extensive. We, as 2 people and pets, don't go through $500-600 a month worth of food. You may think so because this girl likes to eat. I like my sugar, but we do not go through that. And it seemed extensive. So I left a comment that she probably doesn't even make 30,000 pesos entirely for all of her budget. So ask her what she needs. Most Filipinos will be honest with you. But I digress, guys. Back to living in the Philippines and why we came here. Money. Money. Some guys will come here, and women will come here because they're wanting to get into a relationship, male or female. Others come here because of the friendliness and the budget. They love the Philippines because of the weather. That's another thing that we really considered was the weather. It's extremely hot and sticky most of the time, but there are many places you can live here where you don't have to deal with that. And then, of course, you can have air conditioning and adjust. So weather is really nice. If you have health conditions like I do, which is lupus, guys, is my biggest medical condition right now. Okay, I do have other issues that I was awarded Social Security for. And it was a consideration. I found out after we made the decision, and we had already purchased tickets and was packing up literally in shipping boxes to head off to Mexico and the Philippines, right? So I have a severe case of lupus, And when I was in Mexico, I froze to death. It got to be 40, 50 degrees in the mountains. And we lived near Puebla, and that is Chignahuapan or Chickenohapan. It's said different ways. And we lived in the mountains. We drove there. We took the 3 days to drive into Mexico, and we really enjoyed Mexico. But the weather was too much. I could not live back up north in the United States. Our children, adult children, just announced to us that it's freezing in Florida, and my daughter also has lupus. So I struggle with this on a daily basis, but in the end, I'm very happy with the finances. The infrastructure I could really do without, but the Philippines is a developing nation very, very slowly. Things have improved in the last 4 years. I feel it's safe for expats. I feel safe here. I feel way safer here than I did in the United States, which safety was another reason we had left. Florida was becoming unsafe. And so, are there issues here in the Philippines? Yes, a lot of petty crime. And so, most would agree that you do feel safe here. So, there are multiple reasons we came here. I was just thinking the other day how a cab to the mall, would cost us probably a couple hundred pesos. I think the total round trip with the tip was about $10. If we did the same trip in the United States, we'd be out $40. So it's a fraction of the cost to live here on a lot of things. We could have healthy meals delivered. We could have fast food delivered. The same food that we deliver would cost us triple. And definitely their tipping is totally different. Guys, I want you to tell me why you're coming to the Philippines or wherever you plan to retire. Let me know your retirement plans. Both me and George do read these comments, and we do appreciate it. Let me know if we can help you or answer you. We have a Facebook, we have a TikTok and everything else, but that is under Philippine Antics. Okay, I'll leave that in the description. But we are here to help. Also, we will be covering other expats, and we always if something's going on, we're going to discuss it, bring it to light, whether it's a vlogger or not, and be like, this is what you can and can't do. But let me know about your retirement plans. I appreciate you guys being here. Take care, and thank you for dropping in, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my horse to the old town, Angeles City Road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride around Angeles City till I can't no more.